What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast with Aaron and Typo. Aaron, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Had a good weekend. Feeling good.
I'm feeling good too. Reggie gave me some charcoal pills or something before we started drinking. Well, before we started heavily drinking.
Clean out your system.
Yeah, I pooped so hard.
Oh yeah. Good poops on that charcoal, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back to the People Everywhere Everything Now podcast, where we bring you an episode every Monday. Expect a new one every Monday. So tonight we're actually going to be releasing all of the previous podcasts that we have. I don't know if we're going to release the really shitty one yet or not, but our audio is definitely getting better. We're learning a little bit more and upgrading products. You've got your new mic setup, right? Yes, I do. Thank you to our
sound like
sponsor,
10 times better, dude.
Typo's
wallet.
He gave me his old shit.
It's not even that old, dude.
I know, but it's your old.
Yeah.
Your old. Yeah.
I upgraded. Now I've got 2 mics, dude, so I can sound extra crispy.
Yeah, 2 mics. That should be your MC name. MC 2 mics.
Call them a little 2 mics.
Little 2 mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be releasing, maybe I think like 4 episodes. You probably already listened to them by now, but that's all going out on the same day, and then we're going to have a new release every Monday, henceforth.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys that actually listen will see our progress and appreciate our upward momentum that we have right now, I guess.
Because that's all we have is upward momentum.
That's true. We are at the very bottom. We're at the very bottom right now. Shut the fuck up, Alexa.
Alexa!
I said we're at the very bottom. She was like, da-da-da! Like making it a song or something. Like Drake already did it, all right?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't really listen to Drake. I'm not interested in his music
either.
I'm not saying he's a bad artist, but he's made millions. Okay, all right. People love him. I just don't like him. Anyway, so this weekend, Typo came up to Dallas. We had ourselves a good time, man. I had a blast.
Partay. Yeah, it was really fun, actually. I was hoping for a little bit more out of like a conversation with Glorious, but I'm fine with it. I literally texted him on Saturday morning, like at noon.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he gets back to me this next week.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. I hope it goes through. They have great products. You guys should go check it out. Glorious Gaming.
Yeah, Glorious Gaming, Glorious PC Gaming Race is what their official name is. I've got an entire mouse pad that covers my desk, and it's super fucking dope. And then I've got also my mouse that I got at PAX, which is also super dope. And I went from being a scrub at COD to just a master of disaster, scrub. You know?
Yeah.
No, a master of
really
disaster, dude.
Yeah, you're so terrible.
Going from 23 to 30 kills average to 119 in shipment. Eat my ass, dude. It's not unconfirmed. Check my VOD, dog. Check the VOD. Twitch.tv/XTYP0. If you want to see Protato player.
Protato, you see that? We play a lot of Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov. That's like the game that we're addicted to.
That game is literal drugs.
Earlier today, a photo of their servers was released. It's actually a potato. Did you see that?
God, I didn't see it. No, I was driving. I was driving.
Potato. I think it's up on Swifty's Discord. Yeah, it's on Swifty's Discord under General.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check it then.
Just
that's fucking
click
funny.
on it right there. Right there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We are in Discord right now.
Yeah, we are. Our remote cast. It's fucking hilarious.
Is it just in the Tarky?
It's under General.
Oh.
Boop boop. Click General. Yeah.
It's just a spud with some fucking heat sinks on it and a couple flash drives and a RAM sticking out of it. Oh, that's a fucking solid state drive too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know. They've upgraded.
Still using fucking VGA though. God damn.
I know, right? Who does that?
Not me.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking like I might, but I don't. You got the 2080 Ti, 2080, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way you're using VGA.
I get the big sexy.
Big sexy. I got the baby sexy. Ooh, I don't like that word. I don't like that word.
Take that out of context.
Yeah. But all right, so let's see. We've kind of started this podcast off and not really gone into who we are too much. I mean, we've told some stories, we've given a little background, but most people that may end up listening to this won't know us. So a lot of the people that probably have already listened to it, we've got like, what, 14 people that listened to us on Spotify before? 16? Damn, 2 more than I thought.
Yeah.
We're making moves, boys.
We're moving up, man.
Yeah. I think we should give a little background. Like, I know like that whole thing with your grandfather. I didn't know that, and I've known you for 10 plus years.
What thing? That he ran away to the circus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he fucking designed some shit for the drums. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did it.
And that's sick knowledge, dude.
He squandered my family's inheritance, that bastard. Squandered it. Sold all of the land he had. Didn't cash in on his product. He sold the idea for instant gratification.
Yeah.
That bastard. And, you know, growing up, I always thought that it was his fault. That, I don't know, I just thought that he was what was wrong with the relationship of my father's parents, but that's not true. It was actually my grandmother that pushed him away because she was a floozy, and I didn't know that. My dad was like, no, your grandmother was a floozy.
That word is such a weird word.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an older word, you know.
I know. I mean, all older words are weird, but I mean, think about this now. Photobomb is an actual word in the dictionary.
Really?
Yep. I think that's
Crazy.
Stupid.
Well,
I mean, I get why it is. It's a fucking word now.
Yeah, we use it. Everybody uses it. But
it's just weird seeing shit added.
What I don't like is we're changing definitions of things, like what things mean. I don't like that. Not at all, you know, like Old English vernacular today, a lot has changed, but I mean, that was, you know, 100 years ago. Of course, words are going to change, but over the course of my existence, man, I can't think of any examples. I don't know, people are just changing the definitions of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a good term or a good sense of change when some words are changed. There's certain things that kind of don't matter to me, you know, but like the word triggered, it started off as a mechanical thing. Mechanics used it, and it was to trigger something, like a lever action, you know.
Yeah.
And then there was a medical term for it later on, which was for people like PTSD, stuff like that. And then over the last like 2 years, triggered became this huge thing where everyone was triggered, everyone was doing all this. And for me, I don't see the reason why, like, oh, you can't say triggered anymore. It's a sensitive topic to talk about because it's about, you're actually like downplaying someone's PTSD. And I mean, I get that, but it's like, I don't even use the word triggered, and the fact that I can't now triggers me, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. Huh.
But what else though? Where'd you grow up, dude?
Me? Oh, I was born in Colorado. Brighton, Colorado, small town. We had a town drunk. He was hilarious.
Hell yeah.
He used to wake up every morning to mountainscape. It's beautiful. I remember the park that we used to play at. I actually have a photo of myself at the park on Instagram.
Oh yeah? I feel like I've seen that.
You saw it, the chili bowl haircut.
Oh yeah, fucking nerd.
For the longest time, when they asked me if I wanted a bowl cut, I didn't think that it meant BOWL because my mother never put a bowl on top of my head to cut my hair that way. They said bowl, I thought it was like the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls. So
you say bulls wrong, by the way.
What?
You say bull. You're still saying bowl.
Bowl?
Yeah.
Bowl? That's the confusion that I had as a child. Bowl. I thought it was bull. BULL the whole time, but it wasn't. So I wanted a bowl cut like the Chicago Bulls, but no.
I never got the opportunity to get a bowl cut. I always had fucking like Guy Fieri fucking spiked up hair.
Ew.
Dude, it was lit though. I looked like a fucking blonde porcupine.
Yeah, I think I had done this thing in the 6th grade where I'd like I had short hair and then I'd get gel and just do the front and stick the front up.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit.
Reagan used to have his hair. I guess maybe that was a little young, or that was a little.
That was trending. That was trending for sure. Because I remember doing that shit. Not, dude. I'm like 2 years younger than you. No, not even.
No, before you knew Reagan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, surprising him this weekend was fucking hilarious.
Was.
The candles.
Yeah, that was great. We can't share that though.
Yeah, I know.
We are not allowed to share that. We'll have that conversation whenever he's here.
Oh yeah.
That was great though.
Good times.
Awesome. We did this hilarious thing. We bought onesies at Walmart. They're the dinosaur skins.
Fucking Fortnite skin, dude.
Fortnite. We got adult sized onesies in the children's section for $3 each.
Hell yeah, dude! I still can't believe those were $3.
I know they're comfortable too.
Yeah, I got
The
mine in
only
my backpack.
downside was no pockets. That's it. You didn't have pockets.
Yeah, because you're supposed to have a backpack.
I get well.
Your back bling is the only way that you can carry things around in Fortnite. So why would they do that in real life? You know,
because pockets. That's why. I'm an advocate for pockets. We need more pockets. I love pockets.
You know what you need to advocate more for if you're super into pockets? Women's pockets. Women's pockets suck, dude. They're shallow.
Oh, you're right. They do suck.
They're horrible. Most of them are not even real pockets. They just look like a pocket.
The infuriating thing in the world is a fake pocket.
Or a pocket that you can only fit a fingernail in. That's stupid.
If you produce clothes and you have a little hem that looks like a pocket and it's meant to look like a pocket, but it's not a functioning pocket, you're what's wrong with America.
I agree. We're out here fighting for what women really need, which is deep pockets. Especially once all this shit actually comes to fruition and women are actually treated the way they should be, and then boom, they're making more money, if not the same as what men are making. They're gonna need deep pockets for all that cashola, you know?
That extra cash, yeah. So hey, we should get ahead of the curve.
This is grassroots, dog.
Yeah, we should make a women's line of clothing with like big pockets, and then that's literally that point. That's the selling point.
Hearing that out loud, it sounds so fucking stupid,
doesn't it?
But I feel like that's gonna sell.
I feel like that it would too. It's a great equalizer. Deeper pockets.
Anybody listening on YouTube right now, comment if you would buy your mom, your girlfriend, your sister, or if you're a woman yourself, would you buy pants with deep pockets? I'm talking like Dickies style pockets, where you got a pocket that's so deep you can feel your kneecap, and then also your kneecap has a pocket on it.
And your pockets have pockets.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's up. Fanny packs and shit, that stuff never went out of style. If you don't like fanny packs, you can go fuck yourself.
I actually just got another fanny pack from Filthy Casual at PAX, and I really like it.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're a great invention. I don't know. We don't decide fashion, so we don't even follow fashion.
Not yet.
Fashion. Yeah, well.
Not yet. Wait until that tank drops. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say any more than that. But wait until that tank drops when summer hits. Boom! People walking around in our tanks, guns out, sun's out,
dicks out.
Hot boy summer right there, dude. Dicks out. What the? Always with the dicks.
I mean, yeah, always.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah. But so you were born in Colorado. You lived there for what? 5 years? 4 years?
And I was there for like 6 years.
6 years? I was close. That was a guess too.
6 years. Moved to Missouri.
Ooh.
I was raised in a haunted house. It was an old Victorian axe murder house with a dirt floor basement.
Did someone actually get murdered there, or are you just saying that because it's creepy?
No, it's both. Somebody actually got murdered there. A husband killed his wife and child and committed suicide.
Like Amityville Horror style, or
like I don't know. I just knew it was with an axe.
Well, that's fucked.
I know. And
how long did you guys last there?
Time. I lived there for a long time, dude. I lived there between 6th grade. No, not 6th grade. Between the ages of 6 and 12, I think. So 6 years. Something like that. Neosho, Missouri. Quaint little town. It's overrun with meth now. I think that it's being gingified though. There's a lot of daddy's money going into.
Did you say gingerfied?
Gingified? Like gingification?
Oh,
Gentrification?
Yeah.
Nah.
Gentrification.
Gendra? Whatever.
Yeah, gentrified. You're making me sound like a crazy
pasty
person.
people, redheaded-fication.
Gentrification.
Gentrification.
I have a
what they
really
did
good.
now.
I have a really good ginger joke, but I don't know if I should ever say it out loud.
Oh, how about you whisper it to me?
Maybe we clip this out if we decide this is too much. Yeah.
You mean I have to clip it out? No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to decide it's too much. If you say it, it's going in, man. I don't care. This is a podcast.
You know how
Say it.
All right, I'm gonna fucking say it, and I mean no ill will towards anyone by this, but I just thought it was a funny thought. I'm not really making fun of anybody, but it's just a funny thought. All right, so get off my case. Now, you know how there's some people who are like purists when it comes to hair colors, and they're like, I don't like fake redheads.
Yeah.
They're like, I only like that natural, like burnt blonde look. Anybody with like real red hair, like that, like purist, you know?
Yeah.
So if someone who doesn't have real blonde or real red hair, if they dye their hair and it looks very much like it's natural, would they be considered transgender?
That's a great joke, dude. Yes.
It's
yes,
a
they
sensitive
would.
topic, I think. But I think it's a good joke. Like
It's a
in the
good
context
joke.
of comedy, I think it's funny and I think it's allowed, but you never know, dude. It's 2020.
That's great. Man, you can't please everybody. All right, just be funny.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Can't please it. That's
That's
great
true.
joke, dude.
I'm just trying to stay woke, you know. But I'm also
Stay
trying to
woke,
like
my
say
friend.
funny shit.
The woke crowd. Yes. Yeah, so that was Neosho, man. And,
Does your dad still have that property out there?
the Neosho house?
Yeah.
Yeah, he owns it still.
He couldn't sell it. People keep dying in it. No one
man.
wants it. They know the stories.
The people that he rented it out to, a lot of them were just crackheads, or they'd like rent it out to other crackheads, and everybody was just there smoking meth, and the place became decrepit. So it's just not that good of a property. He's made his money back on it already. He's refinanced. He'd like to just sell it for what he owes the rest of the bank note.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to move into small, quiet town in the Ozarks of Missouri,
Full of drugs.
rampant with drugs, not full.
Rampant.
Rampant.
Overflowing with meth.
Oh, it's so bad, dude. It's the area that the house is in. They're redoing a lot of the houses there because they're all Victorian era houses. So it's like the nice part of town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's getting better, but it got really bad there. So he's trying to get rid of it. As soon as he gets rid of it, he's going to get some more property out here in the great country of Texas.
Hell yeah, dude. That Texas
Hell
life.
yeah. That's right.
I can't lie. I love living in Texas, but every time I've been out of the country or like visited somewhere else that was similar, I'm like, fuck, this place is really cool actually. But then when I get back, I'm like, man, it's so good to be back. Like, is the
Yeah.
fuck this shit? I'm never moving out of Austin. If I do, it's gonna be out of the country, I think.
Really? Huh.
I mean,
I do
don't-
not want to live in Austin. Austin's a nice place and all. I just really don't want to live there.
that's fine. That's
It's
fine.
cool to be.
You could
be
live
there on the
closer to me or
weekends.
whatever, but like, I guess it's no big deal. You don't want to be around me or anything.
Yeah, I don't. That's why we do this over Discord, so I don't have to be around your bitch ass.
That's true. I feel like Discord's gotten better too. Like our mic setups are better. We've got compressors on our shit now, like better quality. And then Discord's just not hitching right now, which is great.
Yes, I've noticed that as well. Our first couple episodes were shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody who actually listened to the whole thing, thank you. And
Yeah.
also let us know how shitty it was in the comments.
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube right now, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, because we're on there now, apparently.
We're there. Yeah, no, we're on all of the podcasts. now,
Add us
except
on
for-
Twitter and just be like, y'all fucking suck.
Yeah, I want you to hate me, but not just because I said to hate me. I really just want you to hate me.
And we want to know why.
Yeah.
So we can make ourselves worse, so you hate us even better.
Yeah. I want to hate her. What do they say? They say you can judge a man by his enemies. Yeah.
No, that's not a saying. I'm pretty sure it's they hate us because they ain't us.
What?
They hate us because they ain't us.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah.
No.
That's the saying that you were looking for, I think. But circling back, so
yeah,
you moved from Neosha to Texas?
Ozark, Missouri, and then I moved from Ozark, Missouri. Only lived there for like a year.
I feel like you did a lot of moving around.
Yeah, I did. Not that much. My family or my dad was military, so he moved around a lot, but he was out of the military after Colorado, and then we went to Missouri. That when he moved out, or I don't know, honorable discharge. I'm not sure what it was. He became handicapped. He's deaf in one ear. He had surgery and can no longer hear out of it, so he can no longer serve.
Well, at least he put that work in, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean he gets that pension or whatever they call it.
GI Bill, I think.
The GI or whatever.
Something like that.
He's set, man. He's got retirement figured out, so he doesn't need to work. He's still working, but when he's retired, he's still gonna work, I'm sure.
I don't know if I'll ever retire fully.
I'd like to retire now.
I mean, so it sounds nice, but anytime I take like vacation or something, if I'm not doing something every single moment or just being away from work that I'm doing, I start to get like anxious to get back. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I understand.
I want to be back to doing what I know and what I actually enjoy my job, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very much so that I'm also missing out on things that I'm supposed to be doing at that moment because I'm on vacation. And so I know that when I get back, I'm going to have like a backlog of things that I need to do. But I mean, the dudes I work with are very versed at their jobs. They have done it longer than I have, and they're efficient. So it's not like I'm going to have all that stacked up work as if it was just me on the team. But I still feel that way.
Yeah, definitely. I feel you on that, though. I used to get a job and then quit it because I'm a lazy piece of shit. Let's face the facts here. And I just didn't feel like working anymore, so I'd just sit around and smoke pot all the time. And then eventually I'd just get like bored, and I'd run out of money too. That was the thing. I'd have to get back to work. You know, and I felt the same way, dude. I felt kind of useless.
Yeah, I've only had like 2 real jobs, I'd say. I worked at Zoomies when I was young. I worked there for like a summer and a half, and it was super cool. I was doing really well. I was outselling people, but they were kind of shitty. They didn't give a fuck. They just stopped putting me on the schedule and didn't tell me that I wasn't supposed to be coming in. And I was like, well, so do I even have a job here? And they're just like, we don't really know. You're just not on the schedule right now. I was like, all right, well, I'm not fucking coming back ever again. This is stupid.
Now that's what they do to prevent them from having to pay
severance,
unemployment.
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't fire him. He quit. That's what they can say. Oh, you're not on the schedule. Okay, all right. Well, how's that working out? Yeah, no, they just want you to move on.
Yeah, but other than that, I worked in a tattoo parlor for a while, which I realized pretty quickly that that's not the job for me. I enjoy that community. I enjoy being tattooed. I enjoy being around that shit. I'm a really good piercer, but the environment was kind of toxic and
drama.
Yeah, it's just stupid drama for no reason. I mean, I was apprenticing and I wasn't allowed to pierce people there while I was apprenticing. I was supposed to be training, but I was there more than the actual piercer. I had done more piercings outside of the shop before I started working there than the piercer did the whole time that I was there working there. And I was just getting like $20 to like clean tubes and shit for all the tattoo artists. Just like, fuck, dude. And then I got treated like shit. So I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to get a job that pays well, and I'm just going to pay a good artist to fucking tattoo me.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah, so we talked about I mean, as far as my childhood, we've only talked about where I've lived, man. But I grew up in a big family. I have 5 sisters and 4 brothers. So I learned a lot from my family. Very family-oriented family. And to learn something, I would just have to look next to me because there's 5 other people there to learn from.
Yeah, a lot of them are older too, so they've they fucked up.
Oh yeah. Very wholesome upbringing. That's not to say that you think that I would have turned out better and I wouldn't have done half the shit that I've done. My parents are great, dude.
Your parents, like I remember meeting your mom.
Yeah.
And she was just the sweetest lady ever. And I felt like she was gonna hate me.
Oh yeah, why?
Just because of the way I looked and shit. Yeah, just the way I looked and the way I acted. I mean, I was a fucking hellion, dude. Not really a hellion, but just like
you looked like one.
I just did stupid shit.
Yep.
You know, and like because most of your family is Mormon, right? Or they were at one point.
Yeah, I was raised Mormon.
Yeah, so like that's a stereotype right there, is that they're just kill you with kindness, you know.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I feel like
murder.
that stereotype for your mom especially is dead facts, dude. Like she is the nicest person ever, but it's not in that like weird condescending way that some people like have a problem with Mormons over, you know. They're like, oh,
I don't know. People have problems with Mormons? What?
You've never heard like the fucking people just being like, oh, they're too nice or whatever. It's kind of like Canadians. It's like, oh, they're too nice.
I've never heard that ever. Usually I hear things about when it comes to Mormons, it's usually about the religion in general.
Yeah.
It's usually about like Joseph Smith comments and stuff like that, and it always comes around to what is it, South Park?
Oh yeah, pulling that fucking shit out of the hat.
Yeah, it always comes down to that story, and then everybody has a good laugh. It's like, well, yeah, they were great. They were actually raised Mormon too.
Yep.
Yeah, so I had a wholesome upbringing, and that was a little shit, dude. I did a bunch of dumb things. I went over to my next door neighbor's house when I was like 3 years old with a hammer, and I hit their wiener dog on the head with it, and it bit my face.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
why?
I don't remember.
Why?
It knocked me over, and I spilled. We had these like little boxes of cereal that we used to get sent in the mail, and they're name brand cereals. You get like a pack of them, and they'd send them to us in the mail as a sample pack. And I had one, and the dog pushed on me, knocked me over, and ate it.
What a dick.
Yeah, so the next day I went over there with a hammer and hit it on the head.
That's so fucked up, though. I mean, I guess you're 3 years old. You didn't really know.
And we were the same neighbor. His name was Larry. It was a Hispanic family. I don't know exactly like if they were from Mexico or what. I just knew that they speak Spanish. But Larry was the guy's name, and his mother was hot.
Nice.
Yeah, she's thick, dummy thick. And
you were 3 years old and you thought that shit? God damn, dude.
We were in the backyard. We were playing cigars. We were using these sticks and we're smoking cigars. And we were climbing on this little play place. You know that plastic thing that's like 4 different colors and it has a slide that comes out of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those. We were playing on one of those and I had like fallen off of it. And my cigar jammed down the roof of my mouth and scraped me open.
Fuck.
It's still bare, so there's like you have ribs on the top of your mouth. I've got this big streak on the side of mine that's where it's bald and the ribs stop.
Yeah. Damn, that's fucked, dude. That's the closest thing to having some shit like that happening when I was a kid was I was at a play place area and there was a seesaw and I still have the scars on the inside of my lips from it, but I was like running past the seesaw and there was a kid on one side and then like a smaller kid on the other and they were going up and down like really fast and I ran past and the kids went up at the same time and the seesaw just like, like Dragon Ball Z style like uppercut where they like you fly into the air and shit and then you hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's like that, dude. That seesaw fucked me up, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, it just busted my lip all the way open. I've still got like little white scars on the inside of my lip from it.
Where was this at? This is in
I think
Louisiana?
this was in I think this was actually when I was like 2 years old.
Did you live in Louisiana?
No, I lived in El Paso until I was 2. That's where I was born.
You're born in El Paso?
Yeah, dude. My mom used to
no
jump the
idea.
border and shit and like go get drunk at like 16. That's probably why she got pregnant with me. You know, she's going around doing all that crazy shit.
Yeah, his mom's crazy.
She's not that crazy.
I love you, Kelly. I love you.
Oh, I really
I know
hope
you're
she's not listening to this podcast.
I hope she is. Nah, you haven't told your mom about the podcast?
No, dude.
What?
It's
I'm gonna
literally P.E.E.N podcast, dude.
I'm sending her a link.
Oh God. All right.
Look what your son did.
Then my grandfather's gonna get a hold of it again and be like, Kelly, I told you he was gay. There have been so many times where I'll post like a picture on my like Facebook or something with one of my buddies that I haven't seen in a long time. We're just doing goofy shit. There's one time my buddy came down to visit and we took him out on the boats. Me and Andrew did, or Andrew and I. You know what I'm saying? And we ran out of room in the car to get to where the boat was. So he's riding on my lap and somebody was about to take a picture. And so he turned around and it looked like he was like doing like a super sexy move towards me. And so we posted that. I didn't think anything of it. And then apparently my grandfather saw it and like talked to my mom and was like, is Tyler gay now?
What's a super sexy move?
Now I have to describe it. So, you know, like,
I mean, if it's super sexy, then
think Christina Aguilera, dude.
Right? Oh,
You know?
Christina Aguilera, dude.
Yeah. Aguilera. You know how she's got
Aguilera.
she's got that one move. I'm just
Yeah,
talking on my
I
ass
do.
at this point, but she's got that one move where I think all like hip hop stars or pop stars have that move where they do that like weird, they like curl their body downwards towards the ground and then they pop their belly and back and arc it at the same time. And then like a slowly like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like that.
Oh yeah, that is super sexy.
It was hot,
Nice.
dude. There was heat coming off the seat.
I think you're gay.
Baby.
Maybe. Just a little bit.
Everybody's a little gay.
Everybody's a little gay. Everybody.
Because
Yeah,
I mean,
except for
I've got like
my
an
brother.
attraction to Gerard Butler, Ryan Reynolds. Like I know those dudes are like fine, you know.
I do know. Yeah, my
I
brother's
was like,
gay.
oh shit.
No, he's super gay. He's got a man
Oh, William?
and everything. Will.
Well,
I call
Willie.
him Ryan.
Yeah.
He will. Love him. I need to talk to him.
I actually
Again,
miss
I
him, dude. I
talked
haven't
to
seen him in so long.
I wish he'd come to visit. It's just that he doesn't see eye to eye with my sister Melinda.
I don't think a lot of people do.
Yeah, well, she's going through a lot, man. What?
It's good that your family's your family, you know.
Yeah.
Like extremely
It
supportive
is.
in everything.
Oh, absolutely. And this is something that I mean, a lot of people, especially coming from a religious background, like they alienate their children that come out, you know?
Yeah.
And my parents never did that. That's their son, and they love him, and they do what they can to support him.
He's also got a pretty sweet setup right now.
He does, man. He lives in the freaking mountains in Arkansas, and it's literally 2 houses down from them. It's like a Sprouts or Whole Foods, except it's a mom and pop shop. So it's like everything's organic and delicious there. Freaking jelly, dude.
Well, he's also got what? 2 entire walls dedicated to video games? 'Cause we know he's about that nerd life.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
I feel like he's the one that got me back into Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like we had talked about it and then he actually brought a bunch of cards over.
He did, yeah. That happened.
And then we all started playing and then we got back into Magic again, you know.
Yep. I remember that. Oh man, one thing I regret. I had a huge duffel bag full of Magic cards and I sold them all to a shop in Garland. I regret that.
Yeah, that's a fat rip. I had to sell majority of my Magic cards before I moved to Austin actually.
Why?
To afford to be able to move down here. There's some shit happened right beforehand, before I moved, and I didn't have the funds. I don't even remember what it was. It was just some stupid stuff that like I just had to pay extra for shit, and then my car was kind of a junker and wouldn't make it that far, so I had to pay to tow it
So I ended up just getting a U-Haul and putting my bed, my dresser, and that was about it in there. Yeah, I mean, you drove with me.
Yeah, I actually helped you move in. Yeah, I remember
so
that.
I was towing my car.
Were you towing your car?
Yeah. We were driving in the U-Haul, and my car was on a trailer hitch.
Oh yeah,
pulling it behind it.
Yeah.
Because there's just no
way. There, man.
Yeah.
Yes. I had a great childhood. It was okay. But it doesn't matter what my parents taught me, or it doesn't matter that I knew right from wrong. I still made mistakes, and I still did things that were stupid, and I made my parents look like idiots countless times, dude. That was embarrassing. I look back and realize how embarrassed they must have been, They didn't teach me to act like that, but I acted like that.
Yeah. I think that also ties into like the gratitude you have as an adult for your parents too. Because I remember growing up and being like, man, what the fuck is this? You told me if I got straight A's that I would get a cool ass toy, and all I got is this He-Man toy, and I'm not even into it now. But now I like looking back, I'm like, fuck, that shit was like $20.
Yeah.
And at that time, we're living in a townhome. We're on food stamps and shit. It's like we didn't have money like that, and they still were spending on, like, I've got 2 brothers and a sister, and we all were getting shit all the time,
Yeah, I'm used to hand-me-downs, dude. I got hand-me-downs for ages.
Yeah,
we were very poor.
Yeah,
and then I got all this crap now, and I mean, I make decent money working 60 plus hours a week. And I have all this useless shit that doesn't even matter. I mean,
but it costs money.
PC, yeah, it's expensive.
I think that's something that everybody, especially coming from like humble beginnings, and you start coming into your own and making your own way, and you start to make a good living, maybe decent living for some people, and then good living for some people, and then exponential living for some people, But coming from that humble beginning, you kind of sit there and you're like, I can get this now. It's not even about like you need this or you have the money to spend, so you're going to spend it. It's like just knowing that you could drop that money on something that you enjoy at the moment, or that you might want for a little bit of time. You can just do that. And I think that's the feeling that a lot of people that grow up kind of on the lesser side of the pay scale, and then end up making more than their parents combined.
That's weird.
It's
though,
a hard story. Yeah,
we live.
It's super.
We're being programmed too by our society. We feel the need to have the next best thing and the latest and greatest, and it's all a facade. Like we were fine with what we had 10 years ago. Everything we had was great. There have been huge technological advances, and now everything's 10 times better, and we have to have the latest and greatest. And consumerism is what drives our economy. And on that note, do you look at the coronavirus update? A lot of people are freaking out about it, and then a lot of people they look at it like, more people died from the flu than the coronavirus. So there's this fear-based tactic that's entwined with that. As long as we're afraid, we consume more when we're afraid.
Yeah,
I don't know. So it's weird to think that we don't know what's going on, and you get news from both sides of the fence, like, oh, it's a pandemic, be afraid, and then other people, don't worry about it, it's nothing big. You don't know what to think on that front.
Yeah.
Right around tax season too, isn't that weird? Everybody just got a big chunk of money back, and now there's something to be afraid about.
Everybody's going out and buying masks, except for the E-boys. The E-boys already had the masks.
They already had the masks.
Yeah, they got like teeth on them and shit.
I can't stand E-boys. It's so cringe. If I was that age and I had the same things that we have now at that age, I'd be doing the same damn thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
No judgment. Yeah, no judgment for me. It's just looking at it, it's so cringy, dude.
Well, I mean, that's every generation though. Like millennials get a huge chunk of flack from people who are older than them or older than us.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not that fucking bad, all right?
We're not.
Like, come on. people think we're entitled. No, we just know what we're doing is worth what we're not getting paid.
Well, I actually thought I was entitled for the longest time, man, because we were raised in this fantasy, and that's at least what it felt like. This fantasy thing that we work hard, we do what we're supposed to, and we'll make it, and we'll get there, and we'll make it. And
yeah, that the American dream is attainable for everyone as long as you put the hard work in, which is fucking bullshit.
But you're no, I wouldn't say that. You're never gonna make it. You're never gonna get there, because as soon as you get there, you don't live happily ever after, because there's always tomorrow. So what about tomorrow? We never learned about tomorrow.
Yeah,
they didn't teach us about tomorrow. They said do well and get there, and that's the example that has been put in front of us through television and other medias for forever now. And then what happened with the whole millennial thing is that we did what we were told to do. We followed the outline that was set before us, and when
go to college, get a job, be in debt, and then you get out of it.
And then you turn around and you're like, what the fuck just happened? I haven't even made it yet, and I did everything I was supposed to. I am owed something. I genuinely felt that way when I was maybe early 20s, dude. That's how I felt. And then I don't know what I did. I pulled my pants up and decided that I wasn't going to be a bitch anymore.
Yeah. I don't think I ever felt entitled to really anything. I mean, there were, of course, the conversations that Andrew would bring up where I was like, no, I'm not going to sit in the back seat. I called shotgun. Like, shit like that. I was like, I'm the best friend. I get to sit in the front. It's like that kind of shit, but never like money grubby or like I deserve to have a job that's well paying or I should be famous, whatever. Like that was never
knows me or
I never felt
have to work 40 hours. I felt like that. I genuinely did. Like my job, I do so much at my job. I need more. The fact is it's that job has a limit, and once you've gotten to that limit, you're either stuck in that same place or you go get another job. That's how it is. And I just switched employers, but I always stayed at that level, and I didn't really push past it or try to exceed what I already knew. And,
I had that view. I had that view, but I also had the understanding of it was never about loyalty to a company per se when I was growing up. But I knew that if you get a job somewhere and you're wanting to make more money or you feel that you need to make more money, making a lateral move to another company is not a good idea because you're starting out the ground floor. But if you start at a different job making more money, that's like you staying at your job and getting a raise, to me.
I'd agree.
So no matter what I did, I always was, no matter what I did, I was always just like, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm doing is beneficial for the people that I'm working for. And if I'm not being compensated for it, it wasn't about me being entitled because I felt like I wasn't being appreciated. I knew that I wasn't being appreciated, and I knew that I wasn't making the money that I could make somewhere else that would show that they appreciated me more. And I think a lot of people they get to that point, but they don't jump off and start searching somewhere else. Because that's what happened at Best Buy with me. I started off in Geek Squad where you make more than the sales floor most of the time. And there's no commissions or anything. And then they moved me out to the sales floor and I barely got any. I got like a 30-cent raise one year. And I was like, fuck. I outsold everyone in the district. Where's my shit? District came in one day and they gave me a black hoodie, a zip-up hoodie. And I know it's a female hoodie. And I don't care that it's a female hoodie because it was kind of sick. But it's a female hoodie because the zipper was on the opposite side of the shirt.
What? What do you mean? It's for a lefty then, right?
No. So this is something I actually learned probably, I think, last year. Women's buttons and like women's shirts zip and button on the opposite side of men's because it's super sexist. Way back in the day, women didn't put their own clothes on. They had their nurses or like maids or whatever, handmaidens, whatever. They dressed them, so it was easier for them to do it from the left side because it was like putting on pants for like doing it from the right side.
I see.
And that's just always how it's been. But we're changing that shit. We're doing pockets and we're doing big fucking pockets, buttons on the right side.
On the right side. That's right, ladies. You can button your own pants. You don't need.
Or you
somebody else
can
to do it
fucking
for you.
have somebody else button your pants, but then they're gonna have to work for it.
Exactly. Hey, that's nicely put.
Not
nicely
you.
put. Very.
Fucking full circle right there, dude. That was great.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. So, I talked a bit about myself. Do you want to get into your childhood? Or do you want to save that for another day?
I mean, we can. We're only like 45 minutes in or something like that. I can sum up a lot of it. I mean, there's of course there's shit that you didn't go over. You know, there's shit that I'm
Like
not. Gonna
what? Oh,
It's just like childhood shit. There's just too much. You know, we're fucking 28 years old, 29.
we can. I'm 30, but yeah. It's just
Damn, you
about-
old bitch.
I am, man. I don't have gray hair.
I don't have hair.
but I still have hair.
Yeah, fuck you.
It's not gonna be. I don't know how long it's gonna be until I have none left. I hope I get to keep it though. That'd be nice.
Your forehead is getting a little bigger.
No, it's my hairline's receded, but it's like the widow peak. A widow peak's genetic, and I get like my widow peak is just whoop.
Yeah, you look like
A lot.
Vegeta's little sister.
Yeah, definitely. Vegeta's sexy little sister.
Dude,
Huh.
I'll say sexy whenever you show me that Christina Aguilera move.
Ooh, all right.
Should have showed me this
I'll,
weekend, dude. That was your opportunity. You only get
and
one
we had-
shot. Do not
we
miss
had
a chance
such-
to blow.
A great time, dude. This weekend, I wish we had recorded that entire the whole thing. I wish we had somebody to carry a camera for us because I don't want to carry a camera and have to speak behind it.
Yeah. No, that
Dude,
shit
it was
was
so much
that shit was
fun.
really fun and funny.
We watched the fight this weekend, the Reyes Jones fight. I lost $20 on Reyes.
You lost
bastard.
$40, dude.
Well,
Because you bet $20 to two people and then lost.
I understand that, but I really didn't lose any money because I never paid them.
Yeah, because you're not gonna pay it.
Oh no. Chris is not gonna let me get away with that. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
That mofo is gonna call me out the next time I see him, and of course I'm gonna pay him. I didn't have the $20 that he needed. Plus, I passed out before anything. So
Chris is
it's too late for that crap.
super about making sure his bets are paid in full.
Oh, I know it. I know.
There's
I have no
a-
problem paying him back. If I owe you money, you get your money.
Well,
Period.
it's not even about the money. I think it's the principle for him.
What is?
He's a stickler, dude. It's the principle. Like,
What does Chris know about principal? He hasn't been in school forever, so.
he's in school right now
Yeah, but they don't have principals in
for
college.
being fuck you. They have deans. Oh god. No, there was one time that me and him made a bet, and I was super uneducated about velociraptors, and I thought that the natural velociraptor, the one from the history books, was the one that you
Yeah.
see in Jurassic Park, which is just not true. And I was like, no, velociraptors like this. And he was like, no, they're turkey sized. They had feathers, blah, 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 blah. I was like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. And we just had a dumbass conversation and a dumbass bet. And the bet was that if I was wrong, I would punch myself in the face as hard as I could. And of course, I fucking lost that bet. And his mom's sitting there just like, oh my God, what the
I've
fuck?
noticed that. I've noticed
And then
about
she
Chris.
got mad at him for making me punch myself in the face because I did it. I fucking wailed myself in the face.
You're a man of your word. I like that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Now all we need is some super sexy action, and I might call you my wife. No, okay, it's cool. Maybe later.
A rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. You know,
What?
just call me
No,
typo. You don't have to call me wife.
Typo.
Call me typo in the back door. I don't know why I went to the back door immediately. That's sus
He
right
always-
there.
Just so in case you guys were wondering, he always goes to the back door immediately.
It's because people leave that shit unlocked, you know.
It's too bad that onesie didn't have a butt flap.
Dude, I know, right? Them can't.
That's
Enough.
dope.
That's enough.
Okay.
Enough.
we're done.
We'll get back. Well, let's talk about me.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
let's talk about me. No.
So, go ahead.
I already told you earlier. I was born in El Paso. I lived there until I was like 2. It's actually, this will tie into something else later on, but there was apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently I had a huge crush on one of my neighbors, and her name was Jessica.
Ew.
And I didn't remember this for forever, but a couple years or 2 years later, we had to get rid of my dog. My dog was, I remember him vividly and I was only 2 years old whenever we had to get rid of him. But his name was Oso Blanco. He was a Siberian white husky, and he had one brown eye and one blue eye, and it was so fucking gorgeous. And there was a moment in time where, after I had just been born, I'm at my grandmother's house with my mom, and one of her friends comes over, and I guess he looked shady to the dog, and the dog just growled at him, like was gonna fuck him up. And he was laying next to me. I'm laying on the ground, and the guy was like wanting to see me. And my grandmother's like, I don't know if I would push that. And every like 5 seconds, the guy getting closer, the dog would start inching closer to me, until the guy was close enough to where he could pick me up, and the dog just both arms over my chest and stared at the guy like, nope, you're not getting over here. Yeah. This is mine.
Yeah, this is my boy.
So my grandmother had to pick me up and hand me to him, and after that, when he put me back down, the dog apparently just surrounded me and like smelled every part of me, inspecting me, making sure I was still who I was and not hurt, and then just stared that guy down until he left. I miss that dog so much.
Dude, that sounds like a great dog. I wish I had a good
He's
dog.
a great dog. Oso Blanco.
He's so blanco.
It means white bear. And he legit looked like it.
Oh, you're right. Oso is bear, isn't
Yep.
it? I thought you meant like, oh, so white. Like, he's just white.
Nope. Oso Blanco. Because he was just a huge dog, dude. All white.
White bear.
Yeah. But so we got rid of him when I was 2. And of course I was 2, so it wasn't like a huge impact on my life until I was old enough to realize that I'm never going to see that dog again.
Yeah.
You know? And when I finally realized that shit, I was living in New Orleans. We lived in a place right outside New Orleans, Kenner. And then when my parents got divorced when I was 12, I went and lived with my mom in Metairie, which is like a hop, skip, and a rock's throw away from downtown New Orleans, where the Superdome is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
To New Orleans.
We also had, not a town drunk, but so where I lived, the subdivision or intersection area was called Fat City. And we had a guy named Poochie. And yeah, he's just this old guy. He's drunk as fuck all the time. And he'd look at my mom and be like, man, Kelly, get your mustard and Cheetos smelling ass over here. Like talking shit. Just saying the most random shit. Telling her she smelled like mustard and Cheetos. Like that's, I think that would smell fucking disgusting. I love both of those.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've had mustard and
Cheetos and mustard. That sounds good.
Yeah. We used to put mustard on fucking everything, dude.
Yeah, I put mustard. I still put mustard on
those
everything.
Burritos.
Which ones?
The fucking burritos that we used to get with the tiger sauce and mustard.
Oh, tiger sauce is so good, dude. I miss it. Do they still sell it at Walmart? I remember.
I don't remember.
After Hurricane Katrina, whenever Texas accepted a lot of refugees, I say refugees, but a lot of people that were affected came to Texas because I don't know, that we just gave them like you, for instance. The
economy was better, dude.
It was way better here. And,
that was I mean, it still is. That was a huge turning point in my life.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about that? This fool got a house for
a penny for a year.
Penny a year, yeah.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
That is nuts.
So the program that helped us. So I'll say one thing and then I'll stop talking about it because it doesn't really bother me that much, but I find it stupid as fuck. There's two points to it. First point is when I was 15. That's whenever Hurricane Katrina hit. It's my freshman year of high school. I went to Grace King High School for a week. I was in ROTC. I started to love it. All my friends from when I was growing up. And then boom, life completely flipped upside down. And where I was living with my mom, the upstairs neighbors, their bathroom caved into my bedroom. And I lost everything in my bedroom except for like a blanket, and my mom had like a box of photos. But I remember we had an old Xbox 360 and that was it. And we had like shitty tube TVs. We didn't have any big screens. We didn't have anything like fancy. We lived on like food stamps and shit. It was just, that's just how it was, you know? And then when Hurricane Katrina hit, the government fucked with us so hard just to give us any amount of money that we were owed through like renter's insurance and shit. Like, so Fannie Mae is actually the company that gave us the house for a penny, and we decided, you know what, fuck it, we'll just move to Texas. My mom decided this. We're gonna move to Texas. We went and stayed with my aunt, who is in South Dallas area, and that's when I actually met Vance, who I met you through, actually, which is kind of crazy.
No. You met Vance, and then later on, we met you separately.
Well, I met Vance, and then I had a class with him. I'd like met you in passing, but it was like we weren't hanging out.
Oh no! The first time I met you was in Anna, dude.
Yeah, but I met Vance in Richardson.
Yeah, I know that.
Which was crazy, because then I walked into my fucking social studies class, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here, dude?" He's like, "This is my school. What the fuck are you doing here?" I was like, "This is my school." Oh, but so yeah, what's that fucking one completely pointless charity shit?
I have no idea.
Not the Red Cross. Fuck, what is it? FEMA.
Oh yeah.
FEMA is fucking trash, dude.
It's a paramilitary operation that
They wouldn't help us at all.
Yeah, they don't do much.
They
just go out there to
one of the biggest reasons why?
Why?
This is no shade towards anybody else, but because we were white.
Really? They wouldn't help you because you were white?
They didn't believe us. Same thing when I moved to Texas after Katrina. Is people were like, you're not from Louisiana, you're not black. And really? I was like, what? That doesn't even make fucking sense.
That makes sense.
I was like, that doesn't even make fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
And so that was like, that's my two things about that shit. So fuck that. But
right.
After Hurricane Katrina, we ended up moving to Richardson, and then I stayed there. I went to Berkner, which is a humongous school. It's like a fucking college campus. And then we moved out to Anna, and that's where I met you and everybody else, and finished out a little bit more high school, and then I moved again. I did a lot of moving as well, but it was never by choice, you know? It was natural disaster, and that's the thing about Hurricane Katrina, that it's fucking weird to me. We never really left. There was one other hurricane that we actually left and evacuated because of. I don't remember what it was, but I was really young, and we went all the way to like Tennessee or some shit. And then the hurricane never even fucking hit. And so from that point on, we were just like, we're not fucking evacuating. Well, when Katrina hit, it was my dad's week or whatever, so we were staying with him. It was me, my brothers, and my sister. And my mom apparently had gotten sick at work, and she had a really bad migraine and had to go to the ER. And she got some medicine or something and went home. And that's the day that Katrina's hitting. And the weather's getting really bad, and my dad can't get a hold of my mom. None of us can get a hold of her because she's asleep.
Yeah.
And so we go over there and make sure that she's awake, and tell her that we're leaving and we're going to Mississippi or some shit. And I wanted to stay, but like I was 15 at the time. I didn't have any say so on where I would stay, you know?
Yeah.
So my dad took me and my brothers and my sister, and we left and went to Denham Springs, Louisiana, which is right outside Baton Rouge. And I didn't hear from my mom for 2 months after that. I didn't know what happened to her. I didn't know where she was. And that, like, it was kind of scary. But during Katrina, while Katrina's hitting, I'm sitting there outside riding four-wheelers with like sitting on a boogie board being dragged through fields of grass because the wind and the rain was all crazy, but the torrential rain and shit was not there.
Yeah.
There was no levee that was busting and just flooding everything. So like I'm sitting there having fun as a fucking kid, not realizing like I haven't had contact with my mom since a natural disaster, and come to find out she was in a truck with her bird and her cat and got pushed off into a ditch at a gas station, and watched the gas station get completely torn apart, and she survived by being in a truck that fell into a ditch.
Is that the Beast?
That was the Beast, dude.
That was the Beast. Oh,
that truck
is that a Chevy?
Is a Chevy Silverado, and I think it was a 1996 Chevy Silverado. It was red.
Freaking beast, dude.
It fucking worked, dude. I had that truck for probably 2 years after she gave it to me.
It was a beast of a truck.
I used to pop so many curbs, dog.
Curb check.
It wasn't even about curb check. I was just like, I'm not fucking waiting in this line, and I just go over the curb.
You could do that though.
Yep.
You're driving a Chevy, all right? Back up, Ford.
Or
Chevy's coming to town.
Yeah, Ford bye.
Bye.
So after that, I'd say that shaped me a lot, because friends were like a big deal for me. and I've always been kind of outgoing and outward personality. So it's easy for me to make friends. But like my closest friends, like I'd never want to leave where they're at, you know?
Well, yeah, they fucking went to Austin, you bitch.
I had to do that for my own sanity, though.
What does that make me, huh?
That makes you the next person to move to Austin.
I don't know about that, dude.
Or closer to Austin.
Maybe closer, but I don't want to move my son away from his mother. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not gonna, like, I want her to be in his life because he loves her. She would have it opposite, I believe. She just wants me out of the picture entirely. But I do not wish that upon him. I had parents growing up. I don't know what separation does to a child because I don't have that experience, and it freaks me out, man. One of my
I'll try and put you at ease a little bit. It's gonna affect every single person differently. It affected me differently when my parents got split up. Also, there were other things with that affected me only, you know? Whenever my parents were getting divorced when I was 15, that's also when I found out I was adopted.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
So
Hold
my
on
mom
a
is
second.
my real mom.
Okay.
So what happened with that whole situation was, of course, you already know this for anybody listening right now. My grandparents on both sides of my family were preachers. Both of them, preachers. So super Southern Baptist household, end to end. The music that we listened to in the car was at 0.1 decibels, and it was DC talk or nothing, maybe a little Switchfoot, but you couldn't even hear it. You had to make your own songs with it. That was how sheltered it was. And that was just growing up. Now, for my mom growing up, being in a super religious household, very strict household, whenever she got pregnant premaritally, like is out of wedlock, she got kicked out of the church, she got kicked out of her house, she was basically disowned from the entire family. And so
that is so messed up, dude.
It's fucked, dude.
It's not very Christ-like, if you ask me.
It's not. I mean, it's in the past too, though. So yeah. I think that also had a shaping into who I am now, because it crossed my mom's mind that maybe she should get an abortion. And then it got to the point where she was like, you know what, I'm just going to put him up for adoption and give him to a family that can take care of him. And that still wasn't enough for like the family. And then it came a time where there was an old couple that was going to adopt me, and then they were going to put her through college. And sometimes I wonder how that would have worked out. I mean, this was like an older couple, like a really old couple. And they had some very old thoughts. And when they saw my sonogram, I was like one of the first sonograms they saw of me. They were all excited, and they saw it, and they were like, ooh, we don't know. Not because I was an ugly baby or anything, but in the sonogram, even the doctors thought that I was probably going to be black. And yeah.
That's so messed up, man.
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's not even messed up. The messed up part is that they were like, we want nothing to do with you since there's even a chance that he could be black.
Exactly. That's what I saw when that is so messed up, dude.
That's fucked, dude. And I mean, I get that it was that time period, but that's still just like, that's a fucking kid.
That's fucked up, dude. You're right. It's still a child. Goodness.
So that ended up happening, and so all that shit fell through, and my mom was back at square one. And then it got to a point where she wanted to keep me, but she still put me up for adoption. I don't remember if this was like, I haven't talked about this in a while to my mom, but I think at one point I was in a like group home for like a week, and she just couldn't do it, so she got me back. But so she put me up for adoption, and that's when my grandfather met my dad, and they hit it off, and he was interested in trying to get like my mom to go on a date with him. My mom said she didn't really want to or whatever, and then she finally just gave in and said, yeah, I'll go on a date with you. And things worked out, and whether they were in love or what, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for them. Obviously it didn't work out in the long run, but it worked out for me. I had a pretty good childhood. There were aspects of it which were not awesome, but it's interesting to me. So he was in Saudi Arabia and somehow was able to adopt me. I'm pretty sure it was illegally because he wasn't there, but he adopted me and married her. So I got his last name, but she's my mom, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's that. That's that whole thing. I found that out when I was 15, and I remember growing up and being like, man, I'm treated so differently. And I always thought it was because I was the oldest, and most of it was because I was the oldest. But then, of course, at that age, when you're 15 and you feel like shit all the time, you got some depression going on, and you start finding yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Then I find out, no, I was treated differently because I was adopted. That's where my mind went, even though that's not really true. You know, I wasn't treated more harshly because is that how I should say that?
No, harshly.
Just harshly.
Just harshly.
All right.
It'd be more harsh.
I was not treated harshly because of me not having the same blood cells, you know? It was because I was the oldest, and that they didn't know what they were fucking doing.
Yep.
Which is most parents, you know? I mean, obviously your parents got it worked out with fucking 12 kids or some shit, you know? But everybody, it affects everybody differently. For me, when my parents were getting divorced, and then I found out I was adopted, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, you guys fight way too much. You're not my real dad. Like, fuck this place. I'm out. Yeah. But for my younger brother, who was like fucking 5 years old, he had no fucking clue what was going on. That none of them knew that I was adopted. They didn't know that I was their half brother by blood. And it was a weird thing for everyone involved, but it affected me differently than it's going to affect my brothers and my sister. And my sister, I named her, you know?
You named her after that chick you had a crush on.
That's what my mom thinks. But I'm not even kidding you. So when my sister was being born is when my parents were like really having problems. And my mom was like, I need to find a way to leave him. I do not want to be here anymore. And she was trying at her utmost to not get pregnant, which is super easy. Don't have sex. You know what I'm saying? Then you can't get pregnant. Well, she ends up getting pregnant. She has no fucking clue, right? It's like 2 weeks after she was actually pregnant. And I have a very, very vivid dream. And of course, super religious at the time in a Southern Baptist household. And I had this dream that I was in bed, my bunk bed, and an older gentleman, kind of like a silhouette of a man, comes into my room. And it's not like creepy or anything. I know it sounds creepy. It's not. It does, man. in my mind, when I was awake, I knew that was God, you know? That was what my mind was telling me is I was hanging out with God and we were talking. And in this conversation that we had, he said, things are about to change and you're going to have a sister. And I was like, oh shit. I mean, of course I didn't say that to God. Who says that? Yeah. You know? But I have this like humongous epiphany in my mind and this dream that I thought was real. And I went to my mom and was like, I am so stoked right now. I am so happy. She's like, what is your deal? I was like, I talked to God last night and I'm having a sister. And she's like, oh, little boy, you have no fucking clue. She's like, okay. Tell you what, if I have a girl, you can name her. And I was like, yes, hell yes. And sure enough, 3 months later, she's like, no fucking shit.
No way.
Yeah, and she's like, yep, you're having a sister. I was like, told ya. I named my sister.
I think I've heard that story before, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking nuts story. Whether you believe in God or not, or you believe in higher power or whatever, it fucking happened. I told my mom about this shit, and it came to fruition.
And fruition?
It was already fruitioned.
Fruition?
Fruitionation.
Came fruition.
Fruitions.
Knowledge is what brings us today.
But yeah, I think that outlook that I had at that age is what kind of changed me into who I am now. Of course, growing up in that household and like feeling the way that I did, I found that making people laugh and being goofy was how I liked to deal with myself. And then it just became like part of my personality, you know?
So I have a question for you. I mean, I know the answer, but
mostly for the listeners. If you could go back and change anything in your past, would you?
No.
Yeah, I'm on the same page, man. I've lived through some pretty crappy times, and I've done a lot of stupid and embarrassing things, and some terrible things have happened to me, and I would not go back and change a thing because it would mean changing who
Everything.
I am today. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a huge point for a lot of people. I feel like the people that would go back and change something also live with regret.
yeah,
And that I never want to regret something.
they
If I don't do something,
see-
I don't do it for a reason. Or if I do something, I do it for a reason. I'm never
Well,
gonna sit there and wonder like, oh, I should have done this differently. I wish I could change it. No, this is the path I
not
chose.
that-
I'm gonna stick with it.
not that you do something different. I mean, I look back and wish I had done some things differently, but if I actually had the option to go back and change it, I wouldn't, because that I don't know if it's out of fear of what it might change for my future, or when I look back, it's like that experience is without, or you can't put a value on that experience. It's invaluable. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah,
It-
that's the right word.
I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I would not want to change anything. I am here. I am who I am, and I wouldn't change a damn thing. I went through a lot when I was, I'd say, about 15. That was really like a turning point. From like 12 to 15, you really
Yeah.
start to figure out who you are, and you look for a life outside of your parents, and you are
That's
introduced
that
to
age.
the real world. Yeah, and we all go through that chemical change in our brains, and it can be a lot, especially if our parents are ill-equipped to deal with it. They grew up in this style of sit down, shut up, focus on what's in front of you, but that's not the case anymore. Most people our age grew up like that, and you can see that some people project that onto their children. Sit down, shut up, but that doesn't help the child. You're not inducing creativity, and the kids that happens to, they get caught up in the world, and they see Hollywood and think that that's real life, man. And like the suicide rate these days is crazy,
Yeah,
and
it's
it all comes
exponentially
back
more. It's
to the
insane.
family, man. You don't have those people in your life on a day-to-day basis that you can rely on, that you can talk to things about. If you don't have that with friends or family now, then life can seem hopeless. But there are people out there that are looking for a good friend. You be a good person, and you'll find good people, and those good people will stay in your life. I have a handful of friends, man, just people that like you, like Reagan, people that I trust, that trust me. We've been through a lot, and we've been really shitty to each other sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're still here together, and absolutely love it, especially in regards to Reagan. There's a lot I wish I could talk to, say about him, the things, our experiences together, things that have happened to us.
That'll
We're
come.
gonna save that for another day, though.
Yeah,
And-
that'll come.
And I'm excited. I'm excited for that podcast. It's going to be a good one. We'll
Hell
finally
yeah.
bring him along. Yeah, but in short, don't give up hope, man. If you reach out, and you're going to have to live through it.
Yeah.
Either way,
I think
that
that
you can make it.
friends are the family that you get to pick.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always viewed it. My friends were always like my strong point, my like rock, I go to my friends about anything. And nothing against anybody in my family, nothing against the way that they live their lives. But I don't live the same lifestyle that they do, and I don't have some of the same views that they do. And when that started to happen and started to like come out in my personality and the way that I lived my life, I kind of fell out from the family. I was kind of a black sheep, and most of them thought I was like doing drugs or doing crazy shit all the time. And like, out of my friends, I'm the most fucking chill as far as shit like that. Yeah, I get drunk and do something stupid like jump out of a fucking treehouse. That's a different day story. Different story, different day. But
Oh yeah.
but like my some of my other siblings got into like oh, excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Some of my siblings got into drugs pretty bad.
Some of them got into like really bad places in their life that I didn't get to. And I mean, drugs were introduced to me at a young age, and I just never sought to try any of them. The ones that they didn't get drugs introduced to them, they're the ones that end up trying them. So it's like, it's different for every single person, especially how they handle their parents splitting up, but also just the things that happen to you. If you live with like that regret, it fucks you. And that's why I appreciate like the friendship that you and I have, and the friendship that I have with like that group of friends, because y'all are the people. I chose you all over my family when my family decided to move. I was like, I want to finish high school in the place where I've made good friends who care about me. Not that my family doesn't care about me, but that I choose them to finish out this shit while I become an adult, because they're supporting me no matter what. They don't have any judgments towards me.
Yeah.
So that's where I've been for the past couple years. My family is all around me, and they live in fucking everywhere, dude. Good shit.
Good shit. Well, I think that's a good note to close on.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. Made it pretty far. I got a lot of work to do trying to push this stuff out. I keep coming across issues, but we can discuss that here in a moment. Thanks everybody for stopping by and listening to us talk. Find us on the socials. We're on Twitter at P.E.E.N.cast, Instagram at P.E.E.N.cast. Check out our YouTube, P.E.E.podcast. The P.E.E.N. podcast. People everywhere, everything now. Smash like, subscribe.
Add us on Twitter and give us some stuff you want to talk about.
Give us some feedback, man. Yeah, what do you think?
Let's get to it. I do just want to say thank you again to everybody who is listening or has listened.
Is listening.
Yeah, because it's been really interesting. I was nervous about doing that. Not like nervous, but I was like, this is gonna be so fucking weird having people just listen to us talk about like the dumbass shit that we have to say sometimes. And I feel like our viewpoints sometimes are good. Sometimes I'm just dumb. Like the whole tablecloth thing. I still fucking hate tablecloths, but I know that they're valuable. You know?
They're invaluable.
Invaluable. All right. I see what you're doing. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to you guys, because we actually have had some people listen, and we don't know where you're coming from, but it's kind of cool that we're not getting like down votes and shit, or like unliked, or a bunch of bad comments, but it's kind of cool.
All right, that's it, you guys. We'll see you next Monday. Come back and join us.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.